Hi, today is Wednesday, the 26th of February 2020, and I'm in Barton St David in the Libra part of the zodiac in the UK. And as you can see, it's a lovely sunny day, and I don't want to shut the sun out because it's quite rare in the UK at this time of year to be having it coming in. So it's really special, feels good. Not long to go now till the Spring Equinox, and the light is returning every day. It's still light after 6 o'clock, and so I get really excited at this time of year. I've decided to make a video today because there's just been lots of fantastic stuff happening, and I've noticed a pattern. So I work experientially with the wave spell, and so here it is today. So as things pop up, I like to do a post on them when I've got time. I'm just in the process of doing a blog as well. So here we are today, and zoom in so you can see that, and I may have to shut out the light so that we can see. Anyway, we're there on Red Galactic Moon Day, and we're in the Green Castle. We're on the 8th day of, thank you, that's the bus outside. We're on the 8th day of White Wind Wave Spell. So this is really key 13-day cycle for me, because this is one of my codes, because I'm a blue hand. So my codes are red earth, white wind, blue hand, and yellow human. And if you are any of those codes, then you are part of my kin. And my kin is all about creating new tunnels for human beings. So awakening to where we are on planet Earth, what ungrounds us, how to embody our spirit, and shaping our destiny, really embodying our avatar by using healing therapies and frameworks, and raising our awareness of that more and more every day. And then seeing how our philosopher's stone of yellow human actually embodies that process. We're in an embodiment time on the planet now, so this is really key. Okay, so I have shut the sun out because it is too bright at the moment. So really key to today is there's a phenomena that's happening, and if you're watching this and you know more about it, please do post on YouTube or on my blog, because I would like to know more about this. And I've tracked the pattern. I think I've tracked the pattern as much as I can in terms of this phenomena. And all I can find in this particular 13 moon from last July is that there are 2 moon times of red resonant moon, which is a 28-day cycle, and that was happening in January, and red galactic moon, which is happening now. So as far as I can tell, these are the only 2 in this particular cycle. This cycle also matches 1968, which was 52 years ago, because this calendar is all about 52 in terms of the Pleiades and being a Mayan elder. So basically, once you've done 4 lots of 13-year cycles, you become a Mayan elder. So if you've done that and you're 52 or older, you are now revisiting times back in 1968 to come into a Christ consciousness awareness at this time of year, because we're in Sun in Pisces and we've got Mercury in Pisces retrograde at the moment. So we're going back over old ground with new eyes, new perceptions. If you're watching this, if you're reading the material that I'm writing, and if you're in my circle of influence, then this is really key for our awareness. So what do I know about this red moon phenomena? Well, what I know is the code about it. So red resonant moon actually took place in January, and red resonant moon is in the blue night wave spell. So again, this is how you can use both the systems. It's the 7th day, so it's the top of the pyramid. It's the mystic code around how we are resonating in our world with authenticity and being the beacon of light. And so in terms of red moon itself, it's the 9th Mayan sign and it's the gateway. So once we get to the 9th day of any 13-day process, it's a gateway time. And so we have the opportunity, the potentiality to go through the gateway as the Quetzalcoatl, as the Red Skywalker. We have the potentiality to have evolved over that time period. So we open a doorway and we go through it. And how I understand that we do that is on lots of levels. We can do that intellectually. If we're working on a mind, body and spirit level, and we're working with our inner world alchemically, if we're working, doing the great work, and we are healing ourselves, so we're getting clear of our old ancestral story, then it's a whole different level of the game. And that's where we really are on the planet right now, is people are waking up and going to the next level of the game, which is integrating. And so what today is all about is integrating the human being to embody the spirit more and more. So that's what I know about the code. It's a code of being the conscious dreamer. It's a code of working with Saturn in that case in terms of the planets, because blue night is the 3rd Mayan sign and it's all about Saturnian codes. So understanding our patterns, understanding what our ancestral line is about, what our template is about, what our mission impossible is about, that we've chosen to come here to do, to be the conscious dreamer now, and use this information to really become very, very aware of our constant themes that are popping up that feel uncomfortable and cause us emotional intensity, that trigger our emotional mind, with a positive intention to make us aware that this is a matching pattern for something that's happened to us in the past, that our amygdala has recorded to keep us safe. This is core to understanding how to work with transformation. And in terms of today, so red galactic moon is all about, in any 13-day process, when we get to number 8, galactic, we're integrating the previous wave spell of 13 days. So 21 days ago, we started red moon. And so we're now integrating what happened to us at that time. And I work with several people at the moment. I work with a group of women at the moment. And so this is really key for us. We've been working on a regular monthly basis as a circle of support. And if you haven't got anything like that at the moment, that's really useful because it is a really, really intense time of transformation on the planet. So to be surrounded by people who are your tribe in terms of they have an intention to heal and learn and open to new ways of being, rather than staying stuck in the old story and constantly affirming it and wanting to play the blame game, wanting to be immature, for want of a better word, really. Be immature around blaming and just keeping hold of all of these emotions and viewpoints that are shadow in their essence. So I'm just going to read you a template about this, which comes, again, it's a Mayan template in terms of, it's called the Mayan Oracle, and these are cards that I use on a regular basis. They're very different to a lot of other divinity cards in their language, as is the Mayan wave spell, as is this whole framework. And forgot to say, white wind planet is Uranus, and we've got Uranus in Taurus at the moment, so everything that's coming to light is key as well. And so again, this ties in with the sun. There you go. So the sun is the 20th Mayan sign, and we have 20-day cycles as well. So we go from red dragon to yellow sun, and at the moment we're in the 12th process of that. So we're seeing how much light we actually hold and how much we're aligning with this code coming in. So this is the book, and again, what it talks about here is the planet for yellow sun is Pluto, and so it's about embodiment of Christ consciousness. I'm not going to read it all because it's a long passageway, but the focus of my work is really about sharing code with people. So astrology and the natal chart, and then how that creates our potentiality for the reason why we came in at this time on a conscious level, to be aware of what's going on in the greater cosmos, what's going on around human evolution. So to understand that template, and then to really understand why certain things have happened to us in the way that they've happened, because of the human being story that we've come into. So this is why it's important to understand our own personal code. Is often it brings great understanding, healing in itself, just through that awareness of a bigger picture and how we fit into that bigger picture, and how limitless that is as well, how limitless our potentiality is. This is what Blue Hand energy is all about. It's about sharing the potentiality and of expanding the avatar that we are. So coming in as a spiritual being into a human being story on purpose to evolve that personal line, which is why it's so key to let go of denial. It's so key to really start to focus on truth and authenticity. And that isn't easy, because a lot of coping mechanisms that we have in our mind prevent us from doing that initially to begin with. And it's essential that they have their space as well, and that they are honoured for that, that our coping mechanisms are honoured, and that we understand why we have to be veiled, why we don't know everything at once. That has to happen so that we can do the journey as and when. We come in as an amazing light being into a human being experience that is light and shadow. And so understanding that often is very difficult to begin with, because we're firmly entrenched in the human being story itself, which is necessary. And some people will not wake up from that in this lifetime. And as a consequence, there are a lot of people suffering because of that, because this is where we are on the planet. We're just repeating old patterns that aren't conscious for most people, and it continues to cause a lot of wounding. So first of all, it is about awakening to our own personal story, and then as and when we're ready to do that, about going deeper into clearing and healing it. And fundamentally, there are frameworks to do that. And I am passionate about sharing about emotional healing, emotional freedom, using emotional freedom technique, because it's cutting edge, it's new. A lot of the frameworks of being in the story around therapies and healing modalities are still about staying in the story, really. They're not about getting clear of the story, the very nature of them. EFT really helps you work with your story, and it helps you become personally empowered, because you are doing that process for yourself. And of course, to begin with, you may need support around that, and each person is unique in that process as well, around how much support they need, as and when they need it. And this is so key to this new era that we're going into, which is being free of codependency. So basically, codependency being an unhealthy relationship with a person, a job, a substance, a way of relating that is out of balance and creates disempowerment for a person. And this is the age that we're moving away from now, into the age of Aquarius, and that's all about coming into balance within, with our masculine and feminine, and healing all the times when we've been out of balance are crucial in order to embody that. So using EFT helps the individual to do their own work on their own, and to ask for help as and when they need to from someone who has more skill than them. And understand that we're all connected. Again, with the Mayan calendar, this is what we're shown. I am another you. People who I work with all have very similar stories to me. And the reason why I can often help them is because I've done a lot of clearing work using EFT for 13 years. And so I have a high level of skill with it around my own personal story in particular. And so I can give a bigger picture overview from that position for people who are just coming into it now, who will have very similar storylines. So again, this is so key to the template of light. Okay, so that we have certain aspects of our personality, of our story, that are still resonating with shadow, are still resonating with old mindsets, old worldview consciousness, that are not in alignment with natural cycles, are not in alignment with health. And so they put us out of sync. So again, this is really key, the Mayan calendar and the portal days. They align with the greater cycles and the greater circles of the Pleiades, of the old wisdom, and of getting back to being in a really good synchronization and harmony with the universe, which we have come so far away from as human beings now, with the Western worldview in particular. So it's really key now to start coming into authenticity as a human being and be around people who are authentic and honest. Again, I know a lot of these frameworks are as rare as hen's teeth at the moment, because our culture is not set up to be like that. So, but the more that we just focus on bringing ourselves into a way of being that is more and more stress-free, that's the most important thing. We have triggers for a reason. We have stress for a reason. Our body is showing us where we feel out of alignment, where we feel overstimulated, where we feel out of balance in whatever way, in relationship to our environment or people or situations or amount of time that we're working. It really is now so key to understand what has made us ill as a society, and on a personal level to correct that. And in doing so, as each one of us comes online with that, then we change the world through changing ourselves. And a lot of the time the focus is on the out there, and I'm going to change it out there. And it's understanding that our ego is so proficient at avoidance and would rather than do anything a lot of the time than feel the uncomfortable feelings and face the reality of our day-to-day experience. And this again is so crucial to become very aware of and to rewire, so that we feel safe to feel our feelings, all of them, and to know what pushes our buttons and start to make a course correction towards health. What each one of us does affects everybody else. And so the age of Aquarius, the structure of that really is about working for everyone and focusing on the self first to rewire that egoic framework that is often still stuck in childhood, literally, you know. So as we start to heal our childhood issues and learn new ways of behaviour as a mature adult, refraining from any self-harm in all areas of life, then we come into a whole different state of being, and we become free, basically. So as we let go of all codependency, coping mechanisms, we become free. And what works holistically then is everything in our life changes, because the inside changes, the outside has to change. So the key focus is on the self and changing the self, changing the construct of the self into being a wise human being. And also letting go of mothering other people who need to learn how to mother themselves. Letting go of fathering other people who need to know how to father themselves. This is where we're all coming into balance now, and doing that on the inner level. So the template of light, the template of truth, we all know what that is deep down, I think. And if we don't know, there's plenty of information out there around how to be healthy. The difficult thing can be to find out what is the truth. But the more that we start to clear ourselves on the inside of any unhealthy conditioned mindsets and behaviours, the more we connect to source and we know what the answers are as we start to get clear. And it is really important now that we really start to learn how to develop this more and more, so we trust ourselves, we trust our own instincts, and we take responsibility on every level for our journey. So at the moment we have got the moon in Aries at 10 degrees, and I'm just going to read that to you. So this is inside degrees, it's aqua or fire.net. Roots of a tree entwined around the statue of a nude woman. Bondage and freedom sometimes go hand in hand. The bondage is being true to pattern, predictable, caught in habits and tendencies, perpetually left to grow like weeds. The freedom is that as you meet yourself starkly in the midst of these old, tired patterns of behaviour, you come into touch with a quickening flame of self-recreation, stimulated and forced by being at the mercy of the relentless patterns. This impulse to make yourself over is fervently strong, courageous, ready and willing. The old stuff dies hard. You are therefore engaged in a pitch battle of a protracted kind between retrogressive and progressive ideals, impulses and desires. Both sides are so impassioned and sharply intent that this becomes a knockdown, drag-out battle of wills. The atavistic, backward-leaning will feels immune to change. The visionary, forward-thrusting will feels moved by evolutionary forces never to give up. Eventually, the future prevails over the past, but not before scars and multiple traumas mark the spot of fighting for your life against an implacable inward enemy who knows it will lose and fights all the harder accordingly. So if you've got that feeling going on at the moment, we've also got Lilith in Aries. We have got Chiron in Aries, and we have got a big Aries transit going on at the moment. So I will put links to great articles about that on my blog, which is flowwithjo.com. Please check it out. And yeah, again, it's just understanding. I just find astrology helps me understand what is going on in the starry skies and how that is literally connecting to my energetic code in my body, in my inner star system, and working with me on an inner level to create change. I totally trust the divine plan. I might not like it at times, it's challenging, and my ego has been struggling a lot over the past couple of weeks around old story and how it makes me feel, and a lot of deep grief around what I've had to learn in this lifetime and what it's meant for me and my family, and how much suffering that has caused. And I truly accept it, and I know that I wouldn't be the person that I am now if I hadn't gone through that process. And I trust that this is my life journey, and that the reason why I make these videos is to share information. So the core thing at this time then is to know what our personal story is, to know our cosmic codes, and in particular where we are on our cycle with them, what current planetary transits are happening that we can align with and work with more and more. What can we use to let go of old ways of being? How can we heal? How can we come into harmony? How can we start making the small steps towards our heart's desire, which is to be the gift that we came to be in this lifetime, and deliver the manifestation of that in whatever way that is for us. And on one level, it is as simple as being centered, grounded, loving the skin that we're in, and loving where we are on the planet, and being part of this amazing community of transformation and change at this time. It is tough in a lot of ways, and it holds so much promise and so much potentiality. We chose to come here at this time. We chose to make these changes. If you'd like to know more about your cosmic codes and how to work with them, if you'd like to know more about energy coaching, if you'd like to know more about emotional healing, please do get in touch with me. flowwithjo.com. Have an amazing integration day of red moon. Lots of love, and bye for now. See you soon.